I've always had a passion for being around and learning about animals. When I was younger, going to zoos and animal parks was always a part of my life. I wanted to share my passion with family and friends, so I started working with people that loved animals as much as I did, and my YouTube channel was born. Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Trevor at the Columbus Zoo. Hello.
Howdy. Hello.
What do we have behind us?
We have got a current. There we go. We can see someone. This is our Humboldt Penguin exhibit that we've got here before you.
How many penguins do you have?
We have a total of 10 penguins here at our zoo. 2 of them are pretty young. One is a year and one is just a couple months old.
How old do these penguins usually get?
Well, that's actually a great question. So their median life expectancy in zoos is kind of 16, 17. Most of our penguins are older than 20. So we've got a pretty old group of penguins here.
That's pretty good. That means you're doing something right.
Oh yeah, we've got an awesome animal health team up at, we've got a whole building dedicated to our vet staff and stuff like that. We even take our animals up there, and when these guys have just one little thing that might be a little different, our keepers hound that animal care, or the animal health staff to get down and say, hey, figure out what's wrong with our penguins.
And that's probably why they're living so long.
Oh yeah.
Taking great care.
Absolutely.
And how did some of these penguins get their names?
So the way the Humboldt Penguins get their name, they're also called Peruvian penguins. Peruvian because they live in Peru. The Humboldt name because they swim in the Humboldt Current, which is right there by Peru.
So where can you find these penguins in the wild?
So you can find them all along the coastline of Peru and some of those other countries nearby, those coastal countries near Peru. And they're going to be on rocky outcroppings, much like you can see exhibited by our exhibit here. And that's where they make their nests. And they'll also spend a lot of time in their burrows made out of some fun shorebird leftovers, if you will.
What do these penguins eat in the wild?
So in the wild, they're going to be mostly eating those fish that take advantage of that Humboldt Current we already talked about. Those are going to be sardines and anchovies for the most part. Now here in the zoo, we feed them a whole bunch of different types of fish, including rainbow trout, capelin, and smelt, all because when we freeze our feeding fish, that loses a lot of nutrients. Because of that, we offer those lots of different fish. Now, that kind of gives me, if I may jump on a soapbox here for a second, one of those things, you know, sardines and anchovies, everybody's favorite pizza topping, you know. So that's, of course, a type of seafood. And there's lots of different seafood around the world that everybody loves a lot. I mean, there are people who don't really care for sardines and anchovies, but maybe they like cod or pollock, or maybe they're a crab connoisseur or a lobster person or something along those lines. And there's this, it's because there's so much interest in eating all of the seafood, that means that there's a lot of demand for it. Because there's a lot of demand, it means they have to get a lot of it, which means that there are some unsustainable practices that are used to harvest these different things. They're harvesting too much, which means a species could go to extinction, or they are using methods that are killing other wildlife that isn't a target animal. So because of that, I would strongly encourage anybody to check out the Seafood Watch app, because it's free, it's easy to navigate, frankly it's kind of pretty to look at even when you load it up. It's got fun pictures and stuff, and that'll tell you, hey, this is a good alternative to maybe something that you would otherwise like to eat, or hey, this thing is totally fine. Or maybe in the case of something like an orange roughy, it's like, hey, you should stay away from orange roughy, that kind of stuff. I'm off my soapbox now.
So I noticed these penguins go through the water very fast, and when they come out, they're kind of dry. So how would they do that?
So penguins are really well suited for, and all species of penguins are really well suited for swimming. Of course, they got that awesome torpedo shape and stuff like that. Now that waterproofing that you're kind of noticing is thanks to an oil that they had. They kind of have a gland near the base of their tail, and they can kind of preen their feathers with that oil. Preening is kind of like how you clean if you're a bird. And that helps contribute to that. They've also got so many feathers per square inch. I think the king penguin, at least I guess I can't speak for Humboldt's, but they have like 200 feathers per square inch. It's a lot of feathers, and that doesn't let water in. I mean, you kind of imagine my fist is a water droplet, and my fingers are the feathers. My fist can't get through that. My fingers, that water droplet can't get through the feathers. So it does a really good job. And every now and again, maybe, I don't know if you can see in the on the camera, maybe you can see some of the air that's actually coming out, because air kind of can get under the feathers, but it escapes, but that water's not coming back in. That air coming up, those bubbles, is kind of the source of that.
What is your favorite thing about these penguins?
My favorite thing about these penguins, probably my favorite thing about these penguins is actually the penguin talk in and of itself, because it's a really good way to get a whole lot of people really interested in penguins and that Seafood Watch app we talked about, and it's just a lot of fun to be around them. They got a lot of personality, tons of charisma, each one of them. It's a lot of fun.
And watch them kind of fight over food and swim around. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool.
It's a ton of fun, isn't it?
Yes. Well, thank you so much for telling us about these penguins.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Even after all my mistakes and all the editing that we have to do. But if you guys enjoyed this week's episode, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram, @CoolShirt. And as always, I'll see you next week.